Julia O. Barnes lives by this philosophy. There's always someone who needs the knowledge that you can give. Don't keep what you've learned to yourself. And you guys know my slogan, right? When I grow others. I'm all about that life. Julia has worked as a classroom teacher from as early as 2006, both at the secondary and early childhood levels. She exudes a spirit of excellence in her profession, so much that she was able to stand as the 4-year group leader and valedictorian for her class in her studies to become a trained and certified teacher. In addition, Julia has attained a first-class honors bachelor degree in early childhood education, capping awards in multiple core subjects. Wow. More recently, Julia has emerged as a teacherpreneur. Wow. I hear that one yet? As the founder of BARNES Teacher and Technology Services. Let me tell you something about all of my friends them know in our business we say straight up. Alright? This is an independent education development company that uses modern technology to transform the teaching and learning experience both in and outside the classroom. As part of her mandate, Julia has been impacting change in Jamaica through education technology training, alternative career training, inspirational speaking, writing her debut book, Think It, Teach It, Sell It, me need a book right about now, organizing the inaugural staging of the Boss Teacher Summit. If you're an educator and you want to maximize your talents, that summit is for you. Here to share with you how you can boss up by speaking up, please make welcome to the stage Miss Julia O. Barnes.
Guys, I'm sorry. I don't know that my head was something that me sound pink.
You're big. You're big. You is outstanding.
Thank you. And I'm going to be sharing tonight on the topic, the confidence to speak up for what you want. And it's interesting when Sally shared the topic with me. I looked at it and I said, God, what is? Because it would seem as if every time I am asked to speak at an event, it is always something that is directly related to me. And I'm saying to myself, God, we're going through this again? Is it something I need to learn from this new process? So as I share tonight, I am not sharing from the hearsay. I'm literally sharing from my life's experience. So whatever I say, I'm going to share with you the principles that I have used and have applied to my life. And hopefully, as I share, you can take something from it. You can apply it to your life if it really is relevant to you. And you can really up-level yourself and become boss. Alright, so I have just 4 questions for you tonight. And the first question for everyone in the audience, and I want, as you think about the responses to these questions, guys, I want you to think very honestly. I want you to think very personal, because tonight is all about you. I mean, I'm sharing part of me with you, hoping that it can help you. So as I share, I hope that you can think very personally, think very deeply, and see how best you can apply the very answers that you're going to give tonight to each of these questions. Now, the first question is, how many of you have ever struggled with the confidence to really speak up for what you want? My hand first have to go up. So I see a few hands, some people like halfway there, they don't really want anybody to see, but it's okay, this is an open space. I struggled with that from as early as the day I was born. Literally. And a lot of the people in this room probably met me in the last 5 or so years, or a little bit more. And you don't necessarily know the Julia who would be hiding in a corner all night because she knew she had to come and stand on the stage. You don't know the Julia who would be sweating, like literally sweating to the point, if you held a cup underneath my arm, you could probably fill it up because I was that nervous. You don't know the Julia who would never speak to anybody in this room because I was extremely shy. And I wish I had even a family member or a schoolmate in the audience to really vouch for that, because when I tell you guys that I was shy, I was really, really shy. And to this day, I still struggle with a few things that I share with you as we go along. So, question number 2. Why do you think that you struggle with the confidence to speak up? And I'm giving you a few seconds to think about it. Why do you think, I'm coming to you, Mr. Nakita, why do you think that you struggle with the confidence to speak up for what you really and truly want? Yeah, we have a young lady over here voicing. Fear of what others think, that is on my list of A1 things. And I realized that my why came from as early as birth. Now, a little bit about me. I grew up being physically abused. And when I talk about physical abuse, I'm not talking about the ordinary normal belt where your parents would beat you with. I'm talking about broomstick, mop, wire, stone, anything. Machete, yes, anything. I remember at one point I was running through the community because I was dodging stones. And I would get that from both parents, by the way. And when sometimes I would ask, well, sometimes I really didn't know what I did. And if I dare say, some of me want me to, poof! I would either get hit in the back of my head, because I grew up in an era where kids are not supposed to speak. Right? Anybody here grew up in that time? Yeah. Yeah, them days they're done. I'm not sure I put them so. Right, so I grew up in an era where kids were not allowed to speak. If I dare spoke up, it would be like, what you're back on something for? You're pitting if you keep your mouth quiet, you don't know nothing what you're talking about. And all of those things. And so, if I even did speak up, I would end up paying the price. Because I'm a child, I'm not supposed to speak, I don't have any say, I don't know what I'm talking about. And that was literally my life. So I grew up with that for 16 years before I moved out of my home. And for another 8 years after that, I held on to every single one of those negative things that were deposited into me. So when I tell you guys that I was shy, as I think about this, I realize that those were some of the very same things that held me back from really speaking up and speaking out for what I really want and what I really desire. So my question to you, I'm going to ask it again. Why do you struggle with the confidence to speak up for what you want? Fear? Anybody have any boof backstory like mine?
No, yes.
Yes, okay, we have some over here. Anybody ever told you that, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about? Yes. Even in adulthood? Yes. Yeah, I've been there. And because of that, I was always in a little shell. I tell you the truth that when some of my high school students look at me and they hear the things that are going on with my life and they see me holding a mic on a stage, they are in awe, because that is not the Julia that they know. My best friend shared a story with me the other day that she was talking to a friend of ours, a very close friend of ours that we were together in high school. And she said to me, Julia, you know what she said to me? She said, Julia, change. And it really is the truth, because I have since then evolved into somebody completely different. Somebody who is walking in purpose. Somebody who now has the confidence to speak and not having anybody over me trying to hold me down or calm me down, as the Jamaican term would say. Now, how does having that lack of confidence show up in your life? That's the other question for you guys. How does not having the confidence to speak up show up in your life? For me, I'm just going to put on 2 examples. One example is in a session like this. I remember when I was younger and the entrepreneurship bug really bit me, maybe around 24, 25, and I got married, moved from Manila into Kingston. My husband and I would go either he or I or together would go to these networking events. And I would be the girl that finds a chair and just sit down and talk to nobody the entire night. The only person I would speak to, and the only time I would speak to anyone was if somebody actually came over to me and asked me a question, and that would just be them asking the question and me answering, and that was the end of the conversation. The other thing I would do is I would find somebody else in the audience that looked like them, shy like me, and go and sit beside them. So the two of us would be like friends for the night. I would go to the cocktail area, I would eat whatever food, fill my belly, and then I would go straight home. I came to the networking session and I did zero networking. I remember also when I started my very first business, and I realized looking back that business failed because of me. I didn't have the confidence. I would take up the phone to try and make phone calls to prospect people that I wanted to partner with. And my hand would start sweating. And I would get so nervous. This is me alone walking in my house with the phone in my hand, you know. My hands are sweating, I'm shaking, I'm nervous, and I did eventually talk myself out of making that one phone call. And this is a phone call that I know deep down within myself that is going to be the phone call that is going to transform my business to another level. Why? Because inertly, I did not know how to speak up for what I want. Another example for you guys is when I would be sitting in a group conversation. I'm not talking about business, nothing intimidating. I'm talking about sitting in a group of friends. I have my friend Nakita here with me. Let's imagine her and I sitting and having a conversation with Sally. And this is the thought process going on in my head. I don't know if any of you can identify. So we're having a conversation and Julia thinks of something she wants to say. The first thing Julia thinks to herself is, you know what? I think Nakita or Sally will say that eventually. So I'm not going to bother to say it. Anybody else have been there? I'm not going to bother to say it. And then when I do develop the courage to say it, I literally talk myself out of it and say, you know what? After this is finished, I'll just pull Nakita one side and talk to her by herself. That was me. I would never develop that kind of confidence to really speak up, even in a group setting. And one of the things I find myself still struggling with today is in situations I would do this. Anybody raise their hand when they want to speak? I do. But here's the problem that I found with that was that when I raised my hand, I was asking people for permission to allow me to speak. I knew what I wanted to say in my head, but I'm waiting on somebody to point on me, and if nobody points on me, my hand might as well go back down. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's something I still struggle with today. I have to call myself out on it many times. Because I still struggle day in and day out. Imagine after 24 years of being told that you cannot speak. And today, I am able to really voice my opinions, my questions, and my comments in such a way that I am not as fearful as I used to be. And I'm going to share with you 5 things that really helped me on my journey, guys. And I'm hoping that you might take, if it's even one, so that it can help you to really develop the confidence to speak for what you want, whether it be in your workplace, in your business, in your home, or even among friends like I have the issue with. So the first thing you must understand is that it is not going to happen overnight. It took me 10 years. I identified that I had a problem at 24. I am now 35 years old, and it was in 2018 I believe that I had mastered the art of speaking up for what I wanted. It's one of the reasons I enrolled in the I Must Speak Academy, because I knew I had a story to tell, and I knew I had to give myself permission to share that story. So it's gonna take time. It might happen in a year for you, or 2 years, 3 years. Mine took 10 years, but it will take time. The second thing is that, where do you feel the most confident about speaking up for what you want? Because we all have our little comfort place. We might be afraid to do it at work, but when we're in front of our girlfriends, we let loose and we set free. Think about that one place that you are very comfortable about speaking up for what you want, and then connect with one or two people from that group and let them know how you are feeling, the struggles that you're having, and see if they can help you pull out the better part of you. That person for me was my husband, and he still is today. So whenever I'm having my insecurities, he's the person I go to. So if you have that circle, find the people, pick them out and let them know. Say, listen, I need some help. Can you help me? The third thing I want to say is the confidence to speak up for what you want is going to require you to know exactly what you want. Rondell came and he talked about purpose. A lot of us really don't know what our purpose is. Some of us are still trying to figure it out. But even if you're working on a project right now, get extremely clear about what that project is, what the end goal is, and then when you decide, I'm going to speak to this new partner, I'm going to speak to this person, I'm going to speak to this boss who has the power to give me the promotion. You know exactly for what you want, and you're going forward straight ahead to get it, whatever it is for you. The fourth thing, and I have one more, is, and I always say that, tell people that I have the remedy for shyness. I think I have the remedy for shyness, and that is do it once. It sounds simple, it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. Do it once. The first time you do it, guys, it's gonna feel like the world caving in on you. But the second time, you're going to develop a little bit more confidence, just a tad bit more. And the third time, you're gonna start feeling yourself. The fourth time, you're stepping out a little bit more. And the more you do it, is the more you are confident about addressing that person that you really want to get something out of. Sally doesn't know this, but the first time I went to the I Must Speak Academy workshop, and we were supposed to come up and do a mock speech, and we were supposed to sit down and write stuff. I was there shaking the entire time while I was writing my speech. Today, I have developed a little bit more confidence to step out and not feel as intimidating. So like I said to you, between December 1, 2018 and today is May 25, 2019, I have done this more than once. And the more I do it, is the more confident I become in my ability to deliver a presentation. So do it once, guys, and then try to do it once again, if that makes any sense. The final thing I want to share with you is get rid of the alternative. And this is probably going to be the most controversial one, where if you don't have a plan B, and this is a quote I heard from Arnold Schwarzenegger recently, people perform better when they do not have a plan B. Let me say it again. People perform better when they do not have a plan B. And that resonated with me so much, simply because my plan B to not stepping out and speaking and starting this business and connecting with the people to be able to pull off the book and the summit and all of that, my plan B was one of two things. I could either stay home and be a stay-at-home wife, a stay-at-home mom, which would be miserable for me, or two, I would step back into the classroom making $60,000 a month with lesson plans driving me crazy every weekend. Yes, sister. And having, rebuke it in Jesus' name. So that was my plan B. I had either of those two options to go back to, housewife or miserable teacher. And I thought to myself that those were never an option. So technically, I did not have a plan B. And because I did not have a plan B, I had to put all of my energy into speaking up for the business that I am now a part of and I'm running. So my final tip to you, try and get rid of the plan B, because all of the energy that you're going to be putting into plan B, you could have put it into plan A and make plan A work. Woo! So having the confidence to speak up for what you want is going to take work. It's going to take actionable steps. But I hope that those 5 points that I shared with you tonight is helping you to move the needle forward into really taking deliberate steps in reaching and getting to exactly what you want by using your mouth. Speak. I must. Speak. I must. Speak. Amen. Thank you.